Gotta watch that 5-round MMA, y'all.
Welcome, everyone. This is 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Myers, alongside my co-host, Albert Cita. And we're waiting on Mr. Guillermo Cita to call us in from Orlando, Florida. So he may join us mid-show or he may not join us at all. We'll see. He likes to keep us guessing sometimes when he will or will not be available. Happy Memorial Day, and a big thank you to all the men and women in the military service who laid it all on the line for us. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you all so very much. I know we have a few members of your family in the military. They're still alive, though.
Yeah,
right?
they're all alive. Funny, all of them serve the Navy except for one's in the Marines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're more Veterans Day, right? Not Memorial Day.
Yeah.
A big thank you to all the men and women who sacrificed everything for us to have the day off today. Today's show, we got Darren Till making headlines. Mousasi winning Bellator gold. Also, maybe talk a little bit about Michael Venom Page. Werdum gets busted by USADA. Alistair Overeem over CM Punk. Who do you want on your pay-per-view card? And we have a little bit of UFC Fight Night preview and a little bit more. So let's get it started, right? Round number one. Because we're going to skip LeBron James this week. Not talking about
Screw LeBron.
UFC Liverpol took place on Saturday. Or Sunday, because we're off. I'm all mixed up. Today's Monday. We're recording. Darren Till defeats Stephan Thompson via, I think, a unanimous decision.
Some lopsided unanimous decision.
Well, Hulk got the hometown cooking, but he missed weight. Missed weight, poor performance, but he did cut a pretty good promo. Did Darren Till have a good weekend? This was supposed to be his coming out party, right?
I don't think so.
His kind of first main event in his homeland. Top contender fighting against.
I think other than him losing, everything
went
wrong horribly.
Yeah.
He didn't make weight. I think he's being criticized over his performance, even though he didn't make weight. And then the decision alone, I think everything. I first, I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm biased when it comes to a lot of fights. I see what I see.
Yeah.
But after reading a bunch of different people on social media and how the way they scored it, I think that they're in the same general ballpark as me, where I don't think Darren Till did enough to get that big of a gap in his decision. I mean, it was 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. I don't know what fight they were watching.
Yeah. Seems that way, too. Worst case scenario, maybe a split, maybe a draw. I mean, from what I understand, the general consensus is Wonderboy didn't help himself out either, but Darren Till didn't do enough to win the fight either.
Not that.
I mean,
to put that rubber stamp on?
Yeah.
No way.
The numbers are in favor of Darren Till, but unanimous decision. I mean, that's a hometown cooking right there. I know that the UFC is desperate for an England star to come along. But did his promo help him out afterwards?
I mean, I think, honestly, that was the best part of the whole fight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Was the promo.
The
fight alone was kind of, it lacked a little
I
bit
really
of
want to
pepper.
think that, I was that Darren Till and Michael Bisping have several, behind-the-scenes meetings. Listen, man, what you got to do?
He's like, this is how I riled up the crowd.
This is how I just cut good promos. The UFC will, after this, the UFC will feed you, subpar fighters. You'll get the main event in England every time at the O2 Arena. And you're good to go. And then you'll get a title shot down the line. And then, maybe you'll get a title. And then you do it. Then you go on to the UFC on Fox broadcast. That's how exactly the blueprint is there for Darren Till. Just follow Michael Bisping. And, you'll get the decision wins in your hometown, a la Hendo. Justin Gaethje actually caught some flack for that, too. He actually why he got surprised for it. They did to Hendo. Why they did to Wonderboy. People are all over him. I guess Darren Till already has his fans now, I guess. I don't know if Darren Till has his fans or people just don't like Wonderboy Thompson. I don't know. Because the Darren Till army was kind of vicious this weekend, so...
Yeah, I'll take the latter on that. But, man, did Darren Till look so much bigger, too? People forget, how really big Darren Till is.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty huge compared to Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, bro, that fool needs to be a middleweight. But other than that, I thought the card was pretty whack. I
think for me, going back...
even though there was a lot of finishes, I wasn't even excited. I don't know if it was the lack of stars or the lack of known fighters, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was one of the best events, especially since UK. We're calling up Guillermo right now.
Is available now. If you answer the phone.
Good.
Hello?
Guillermo, we are live.
Guillermo, you're live right now. Darren Till, give us your thoughts.
Darren Till, I felt he won the fight. What do you guys
Wow. It's a good thing that we gotta get our points out there before Guillermo gets pretty ridiculous.
Well, let me tell you guys something.
You're not telling me he was 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. That's how the fight went.
Yes, I agree. I think it's crazy that people fight on the defensive, and you can talk about any other sport. If you fight on the defensive, how can you win if you're not being offensive? And you guys talk about octagon control. Who had octagon control the whole fight? Huh?
Tell that to the Seattle Seahawks.
I think Albert's point is defense wins
baby.
Championship. The old man.
Yeah, but they had the Marshawn Lynch that can punch the ball inside the end zone. I told you guys this example yesterday when I texted you guys. What's the point of having 10, and let's relate it back to baseball, because baseball, Stephan Thompson outstruck Darren Till, but if you really think about it, Darren Till did all the damage to Stephan Thompson, and octagon control was way more aggressive. But if you in a baseball game, if you have 10 hits and score 0 runs, and the other team, has 2 hits, 2 home runs, they went 2-0, right?
True.
That's kind of what happened with Darren Till versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
I like
Darren Till
better.
had less punches, but more significant damage was done to Darren Till Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And he rocked them in the 5th round.
Hey, so obviously, how would you rate his weekend though? Like, he misses weight. I mean, he didn't exactly blow people away with his performance. I'm with Darren Till here, but he cuts a pretty good promo. Is he still in line to be the UFC's next, post Michael Bisping star in England?
I think so. There's really nobody there because there's Kobe Covington and then Rafael Dos Anjos, but outside of that, it's tough. That welterweight division is tough because you still have GSP somewhere in there. Tyron Woodley still in there, but you still have this guy. Whether he missed weight or not, I think it's a star you could build around. Yeah. He's 25 years old. I mean, even if he can't make welterweight weight, he looks pretty big. So I can see him going up to middleweight. We
shall see. Darren Till, he gets a win, and his story continues. And Wonderboy continues to disappoint post Tyron Woodley era. So that's it for round number 1. We're going to come back with round number 2, talk about Gegard Mousasi winning Bellator gold and what super fight can be on the horizon for him. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. Gegard Mousasi is now the Bellator middleweight champion of the world after defeating Rafael Carvalho.
He stays hot.
Yeah,
he stays hot.
Made it look very easy in the first round. Needed less than 4 minutes to do it. TKO punches.
It was too easy.
It was easy.
This is the opposite of Darren Till here.
Yeah.
It was way too easy. I saw things, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's it?
Yeah.
That was it. And I'm not trying to talk crap on his opponent, or whatever, but it just looked like it was a walk in the park, especially compared to the previous bout that Gegard Mousasi had. That not the previous bout, but
well, he defeated Chris Weidman. And his first bout in UFC was against Alexander Shlemenko, and that was a unanimous decision, but it went to decision. So
yeah. So I'm not sure. He just made it look too easy.
Yeah,
too easy. And I think everyone was expected him to be the champion at this weight class, and maybe even see what he does at 205. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think it was going to be that easy, especially people are underestimating the guy that he beat. Rafael, I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm not even going to try it. But anyways, he was on a tear in Bellator. I mean, a huge tear. Sure, the competition level wasn't there. The people that he tore up against, Melvin Mihov isn't the same Melvin Mihov of like 10 years ago, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is how easy. We got Guillermo coming back in right now. Guillermo, I'm just talking about how hot Mousasi is and how easy he made it.
How hot he is in Bellator? Come on, guys.
Bro, he's hot.
You guys are ridiculous.
He did exactly what he was signed to do. Become the champion, make it look easy, and then look at that 205 division, because I think he's going to be a multiple champion here.
But if you guys think about it, I mean, he was at the pinnacle in the UFC, and he couldn't cut it there. So that's
he was at the pinnacle. Whoa.
So, I mean,
I don't know if you know this. He defeated Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman, all all back to back on his way out.
Well, he did obviously lose to Machida, who he said was questioned because Machida was on some substances. He got choked out by Jacare, but who hasn't get choked out by Jacare? And then he loses that fluke to Uriah Hall, which he made up. Then goes avenge. But anyways, Guillermo, I think the biggest news out of that was pretty much right after Mousasi won. Rory MacDonald out of nowhere calls out Mousasi saying, "Let's do it," and Mousasi accepts.
The lack of talent in Bellator.
But is this a smart move for the Bellator to put this fight together?
It's the most stupidest move.
Okay, why?
Put this fight together. You got two potential stars here.
Yeah.
Don't burn yourself out right off the gun. Even though I like Bellator's cojones, who that they don't care and they just put some fights together, I'm like, dude, you should have waited for that.
This isn't Shamrock versus Gracie 4 or whatever.
Yeah, and I think you have two spectrums. And both guys have been successful in Bellator.
Yeah.
And even though Gegard Mousasi had like that weird eye thing in his last bout, and maybe that's why he had lackluster performance, but clearly Gegard Mousasi has had a better outing than Rory MacDonald. So with that said, I want Rory MacDonald to get his feet from established, and then maybe put that fight together. I think Rory MacDonald has more to prove still, and Gegard Mousasi, I think he's on to better stuff as far as the 205 division.
What about you, Guillermo? Do you think this fight should happen?
Let's be honest. Did you guys watch Bellator 200? Be honest, 100% honest.
Well, I saw the replay, bro. I saw the.
Thank you. So here's the point.
But it was because of the card. The card wasn't
more the time delay. Maybe.
Yeah, Gegard Mousasi, he's so hot, and you didn't watch it. So here's the thing: is you while he's hot, you have two fighters that are hot, that are champions. Why not? You get people to tune in. Isn't that the whole point? I think Bellator is not afraid to. Let the chips fall where they may. Whoever loses, we don't care about their record. We care about the ratings, building a brand. I think that's more what they want. And the fighters sound like they want to challenge themselves. It doesn't matter what weight class they're in. This is where the UFC is a little bit scared. That's why they're hesitant in making these super fights where Bellator is like, hey, you guys want it? We'll give it to the fans. We'll give it to the fighters. We'll put it together. We're not afraid to take risk and chances.
Honestly, I think they should do Phil Davis versus Gegard Mousasi. I think that makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Phil Davis had an impressive performance too at Bellator 200, and I think we're dying to see Gegard Mousasi at light heavyweight in Bellator. I think rather than the middleweight, because I don't think the middleweight contenders aren't there.
The only thing great about Gegard Mousasi is how flexible he is between different weight classes. And based on that, you have all these potential matchups, whether it's at light heavyweight, middleweight, or welterweight, which is pretty impressive.
Real quick, too, we've had Caveman Dave Rickles on the show before, and he's a real cool dude. But man, Michael Page went through him like a hot knife through butter. If you're Bellator, do you now kind of get somebody for this guy to fight?
You gotta give him Daly.
Yeah,
I think it's another impressive showing, and Daly is a good smack talker, and they're both not going to go to the ground, which is Daly. That's all he's been crying about. These fighters take him to the ground. You're not going to get a guy that's going to take you to the ground. Just do the fight. I think those are big enough names for Bellator to put together.
I get it. Like, you want that's your kind of your cool.
Don't get him John Fitch. Don't get him John Fitch. Just get him Paul Daly.
What about you, Gavin? We think it's finally time for Michael Page to get a real competition?
Yeah, because I'm still questionable on his ability, his skill level. Because he hasn't fought the elite at that weight class. That's my thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what Bellator. I'm sure Scott Coker's thinking up of something. That's it for round number 2. We're going to come back and talk about Fabricio Werdum getting busted by USADA. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. So I'm not too sure. I lost count already. I know I'm listing off a bunch of names of heavyweights who've been kind of busted for
it's a long list.
So you got Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, Antonio Silva, Junior Dos Santos, and those are all guys who have fought Mark Hunt. And Fabricio Werdum being the new one, right?
Dang.
I think that's like a lot of. I'm pretty sure I missed some other ones. 2 guys who have kind of or who have been words, their name have been in the USADA thing. Fabricio Werdum being the latest one. Werdum was busted this past week for a urine test he took back in April. According to Werdum, he's very careful what he puts in his body. He's going to work diligently with UFC and USADA to find out what went wrong, and this is all a misunderstanding. So what do you make of this, Albert? He's already in his 40s. I don't put it past the guy putting different stuff in his body to kind of keep active, right?
Yeah. You know what? These Brazilian heavyweights are not making themselves in a good position, I think.
Yeah.
I think Junior Dos Santos' career is pretty much just his performance in the past couple of fights alone, and then he gets caught. Same thing with Fabricio Werdum. It's not like he's been having a spectacular outing his last fight. He got KO'd.
Yeah.
And then he gets caught with something. It looks even worse. The guy got KO'd and he was on something supposedly. And then, who was the one that suffers from all this? Mark Hunt. Poor guy, man.
Give him the strap already.
Yeah. The guy already fought how many people that are supposedly juiced? I don't know. It just I don't know how these fighters are going to make a good comeback. At 40 years old, I don't think Fabricio Werdum. I don't even know how long the suspension is, but even if he comes back, I don't think no one's going to be excited. Same with Junior Dos Santos. I don't think anybody cares about his comeback tour.
See, well, they're always the alternate for the heavyweight Bellator, heavyweight Grand Prix. We're just talking about Bellator. Werdum has been kind of in limbo. Like, he fell out of favor with the UFC for calling out Reebok, saying, well, he prefers to wear Nike. That took away his TV job. And then since then, he's been filling in, but he's fought guys like Walt Harris, Marcin Tybura. Like I said, he lost big time to Alexander Volkov, but he hasn't really been fighting that cream of the crop heavyweights because he's probably beat them all. But still, he's being active, but not like a sexy active. You know what I mean? And then the whole thing with Colby Covington, where he kind of threw a boomerang at him. Threw a boomerang at him. He's not really in favor, especially with Brazilian fans are always going to love their fighters, but in the U.S., he hasn't really endured himself to the fans out here anymore, and this is only another knife for them to kind of put in the back of Werdum. I think he's 40 years old. This heavyweight division is starting. I think it's going past him now. I mean, what do you do now if he gets suspended? It's 9 months, or I don't even know. I forgot what the deal is now. Or if he admits to taking it, it's a shorter sentence, or they give the Nick Diaz thing, or you're cool for. I don't know, man. It just sucks. But like you said, I kind of feel more for Mark Hunt, where he again. He has so much ammo now. Dana White gets so mad when he says he's threatening to sue the UFC. He wants more money, and Dana White has nothing to go back to him. All these guys he fights, they all end up eventually coming back dirty. And the same thing for it was Michael Bisping. We give it to him as much as you say. The list of guys he fought, all of them eventually kind of getting caught up as being dirty here. So another win for USADA, and we'll see exactly what. I didn't know what. They didn't say what he tested positive for, what came up on it. Usually it's always things that kind of trying to mask it, right?
Yeah, it's always a masking thing that they get caught with.
It's always something that if you're taking this only because you're coming off a cycle or something like that, but we shall see. I think it's another blow to this heavyweight division. That's you got Curtis Blades, who is going to fight over him next, and we're going to talk about that actually in the next round. But you have Derek Lewis, who's coming off.
On there.
Francis Ngannou, who's kind of coming off a big loss here. So the need for the heavyweights are kind of at a loss right now. We do have Alexander Volkov, who defeated Werdum next.
And now you see why DC's the savior of this division.
Yeah.
I think DC's the only one that can save this division.
Yeah, which is why it's more of a. I mean, right now the light heavyweight and heavyweight are kind of an influx, which is why there is a super fight coming up next. But how do you think this ends up for Werdum?
I tell you, I think it's horribly. If he does get another crack at UFC, I see him getting passed up by maybe some of the new heavyweights are about to come. Hopefully, there's some new heavyweights coming. If not, then I hear that rematch with Fyodor Bellator gladly paid.
Looking pretty good. That's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. First with Mobilitas, mobility tools, the best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, myofascial release products designed with more grip to better restore muscle to its original health. Supple, sexy, and luscious designs. They got foam rollers, peanuts, roller balls. Get those muscles nice and loose. They get the best workout possible. Your next time around, use promo code FiveRoundMMA. It's number 5RoundMMA for 20% off your next order. Visit them on YouTube at yourjointsshouldn't hurt.com for great tutorial videos. Also, they're on they're also on Instagram at Mobilitas, and visit yourjointshirt.com/mobility tools to see the great lines of products. Also, a big shout out to 5 Rounds. Clothing line 5 Rounds offers a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and improving to become the best fight wear company in the MMA world. Follow them on Instagram at 5rounds_, on Twitter at 5roundswear, and shout out the great lines of products at 5rounds.clothing. And a big shout out to FightBookMMA.com, our great products who are now partnered with USA Today, the only place you'll find real combat sports news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing, all local promotions, UFC, Bellator, World Series of Fighting. It's all there under one spot. Local MMA, nationwide, worldwide MMA. They support combat sports no matter what. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and like them on Facebook, and visit FightBookMMA.com. Just bookmark it, do yourself a favor. That's it for round number 3, 4th, and 5th round coming up next. Welcome back. The best in the world in professional wrestling, quote. Woo. Mr. CM Punk returns to UFC 225. And, of course, just him being on the card already, him being in the UFC is already controversy as enough. But what added to more controversy is that a heavyweight matchup between Curtis Blades and Alex Overeem was bumped from the main card and added to the prelims in order to fit Mr. Punk onto the UFC 225 pay-per-view. Curtis Blades is kind of like, hey, we're still getting paid, right? That's all I care about. And he's all, quote, this is from Blades' Instagram. I have no idea why the change was made, but to be honest, I don't care. It literally changes nothing. Still getting paid. I still have to do my job. Only perk is now I get to clock out of work closer to 8 as opposed to like 10ish. Overeem was a little bit more questionable. He says, you know what? I don't know, but I'm cool with Holly Holm being on the card. He's all, I just don't understand it, but whatever, it's a decision. I have no problem. People in Europe are going to watch me knock out Blades anyways. Mr. Albertson, do you have a problem with CM Punk being, okay, he's on the card anyway, but do you have a problem with him being on the pay-per-view?
No, because it's all about numbers and figures.
Yeah.
From what I understood is Overeem has a very, very good contract with UFC and also has a pretty good chunk of that pay-per-view cuts. With that said, though, would you rather give a bigger chunk to Overeem or a smaller chunk to Holly Holm?
Yeah.
I really do think that's what it came down to. They know that Robert Whittaker and the Rafa dos Anjos fight are the ones that make this card legit, and so you can remove them.
Yeah.
Right? I think Andrei Arlovsky also takes a small cut, but he's actually, I don't want to call him a feeder, but he's pretty much there to put somebody over.
Yeah.
And what better ways to put someone over than in the main card?
Yeah, true.
And with that said, I think Overeem was the man now because I think they have to pay a big chunk of pay-per-views to him, and I think they know that CM Punk sells.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do this sideshow of CM Punk, you got to make capital money.
Yeah.
And I think it was justified, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. If anything, I think we're the ones that make out on it because now we get a prelims that's worth watching.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, again, the pay-per-view was to watch it. You're watching the Robert Whittaker and the Rafa dos Anjos bout.
Yeah.
And CM Punk is just the sprinkles on the cupcake.
Just watch him get knocked out. Is this so ironic for wrestling fans out there? Wasn't it CM Punk make his name in the WWE, like calling out all these part-time wrestlers who are kind of coming?
He's a part-time
fighter. It's funny that they asked Dana White about it, and he kind of threw some shade at Overeem. He said, "Cool, listen, when Alistair Overeem sells as many pay-per-views as CM Punk does, we can argue. If that's what you want, look at him being demoted. What is Rashad Evans? What is Anthony Pettis? These guys who could do more on the main card that are on the UFC Fight Last Prelims. But I thought it's kind of funny, though. First and only time CM Punk fought for the UFC was the UFC 203 pay-per-view card, which was main evented by Stipe Miocic versus Alistair Overeem. So
who did the numbers?
Who did the numbers there?
Was it Overeem or CM Punk?
CM Punk. So there's a hole there in Dana White's little logic there.
But yeah, to give Dana White some credit,
yeah.
I was kind of shocked when I saw the UFC Fight Pass. You have people, Rashad Evans,
yeah,
Joseph Benavidez versus Sergio Pettis is in the Fight Pass,
yeah,
and then you'll still have Clay Guida and Bobby Green,
yeah.
Man, these guys fell out of grace real quick.
Yeah. But you know what? The best in the world, Mr. Phil Brooks, is obviously in the good graces of the UFC. We shall see. I mean, yeah, this is going to be fun. I think the
stagnance is clearly there.
Yeah, I think fans are making a bigger deal about this, and the fighters. Obviously, Curtis Blades doesn't care. Overeem doesn't care. You know what?
I don't think Curtis Blades gets pay-per-view cut. That's why
he doesn't care either.
Overeem cares because I think If
Yeah.
you ever look at it, like the Fire page, I think it says something like he makes only like $250,000 and that's it. But
Yeah.
you don't know because they don't tell you how much he makes in the pay-per-view revenues.
But we shot. It's kind of crazy, man. The CM Punk's gonna happen again. UFC 225 against Mike Jackson. I think even Dana White. I mean, not Dana White. Joe Rogan came out and said this fight should not even be in the UFC. It should be in some amateur show somewhere.
Dang.
So that's it for that. I mean,
But look, if people are gonna buy to see CM Punk in a fight.
it's on the poster too, actually.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. How can you ignore that? There's gonna be people that are interested to see him fight.
Yeah.
I don't think they care about his ability to fight. They just want to see him in a fight. And I think that says a lot for the DE guys. If it was freaking Dolph Ziggler, I don't care about if he's good or not with his hands. Obviously, supposedly he was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him in an actual physical fight.
Yeah, well, professional wrestling is a whole nother animal to begin with. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, something to talk about, debate. CM Punk does
Yeah,
even
sell those
deserve to
wolf
be on.
tickets.
Sell those wolf tickets. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. 5th and final round. We're talking about UFC Fight Night Rivera versus Moraes. And talking about the move Nick Diaz as well. So UFC Fight Night, Jimmy Rivera versus Marlon Moraes will take place on Friday, June 1st in Utica, New York. UFC Fight Night. Yeah, this fight's gonna happen.
It's a fight night for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There's not much heavy hitters on there. Martin Morales, for you casual fans out
Moraes.
there, he tore it up in World Series of Fighting before entering the UFC and running into Assunção.
Yeah.
But since then, he's been looking super good. And he's actually... I want to say he's an up and coming talent. He's 30 years old.
Yeah,
but he certainly is I guess a fighter to watch in 2018.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rivera, on the other hand,
Well, I think he was the fighter who unofficially retired Uriah Faber. Because he's the one who beat him by decision, and then obviously they gave Faber Brad Pickett in Sacramento, so he has the linger of retiring Uriah Faber. He only has one loss in his career, but again, other than Uriah Faber, he hasn't really gotten. He's kind of made a living out of beating the guys who are supposed to be better than him, like Pedro Munoz, who was supposed to be big. He was an RFA champion, kind of came in, stopped that. Thomas Almeida, who at one time was supposed to be the next big thing in the bantamweight division, but then
even Alcantara was supposed to be a big thing.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. There. Yeah, other than this, the main event, I know there's a little bit of bad blood between the two. They're kind of been talking crap to each other, but other than that, it's not really enticing. Really, you have Jake Ellenberger's on this card. I don't even know he was on the UFC still against Ben Saunders.
You got Sam Alvey.
Yes, but they're on prelims, all right? Or Sam Alvey?
No, Sam Alvey is in the main card.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Former guest Jody Escobar's on the UFC Fight Pass. But is it me or I haven't seen many commercials for this? Is it because...
I haven't seen zero promotion for this. Maybe they're trying to piggyback this off of the UFC 225 bout because that one's just like June 9th.
Yeah.
Maybe they can somehow package them. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't seen any real promotion for it. It could be also that UFC is just not caring about Fox no more. They're 1 foot out the door already. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen no advertisement. But then again, not that many people are going to know who Jimmy Rivera is.
Yeah.
And Marlon Moraes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that many people are going to know who they are. And then the co-main event isn't much help either.
Yeah, so we're going to switch over to the biggest news, which Nick Diaz getting arrested for, they call it domestic abuse, but I guess supposedly he was defending himself against a female stalker. Is that how it went? Allegedly, and yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but it's another kind of... If Nick Diaz... One thing you can't say is boring, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
But can the timing be any worse? We finally start getting these rumors that he's ready to fight.
Both him and his brother, yeah.
That they actually going to say yes to fights, not just talk about it. Supposedly they're about to be booked, and then this happens.
And then he posted, I think a tweet said, "Never eat jail food, just die."
Damn.
And then he released a video of him. He didn't really say much. He just kind of showed his elbow, and then was kind of like doing this to the camera, like not waving his fingers around. And then that was it. The UFC said that they're going to do their own private and thorough investigation into the matter because obviously they take zero policy for domestic violence, even though I guess they call it domestic battery because if he's just a stalker, what is she doing that close to him? I don't know what happened, but.
Yeah, until we get the full story, it's hard to even think about what could have happened or how it happened. But after you read all the stuff, it seems like they're pretty relaxed as far as they know that it's not going to be a big issue.
Yeah,
because it doesn't feel like one of those things where you're like, man, dude, that guy's screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like he's like, oh man, this guy beat up his girlfriend. Was not who's the football player that beat his girlfriend in the elevator?
I forget his name, but
yeah,
that was a beating.
Yeah, that's one bad. But we'll see what happens here with Nick Diaz. But UFC Fight Night Rivera versus Morales, June 1st on I think Fox Sports. Yeah, that's it for this week's show. I want to thank everybody for listening. I thank Guillermo for tuning in, even though for checking in. He's busy doing dad stuff for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever.
If he thinks that's more important,
I guess
than 5-round MMA.
Big shout out to all of our sponsors. First, our friends and sponsors. First, with the Dose Leprechauns podcast. Leprechaun Nate and Leprechaun Jason give it to you straight. Notre Dame football, professional wrestling, professional sports, mixed martial arts, a little bit of everything. Make sure to follow them on all forms of social media. That's the Dose Leprechauns podcast, and check out their podcast as it drops. New episodes, I think, are bi-weekly right now, but they are always always in the know, always active on social media. That's the Dose Leprechauns podcast. A big shout out to them, and also a big, huge shout out to the rest of our sponsors. First, with Dioxyme, supplements with morals, products that promote the active lifestyle, improve athletic performance, and provide health benefits. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Dioxyme, at Dioxyme, and visit Dioxyme.com. And also Girl Gang Wraps, hand wraps and clothing. Girl Gang Wraps is created for the girl that practices martial arts but also likes making a fashion statement. Fight gear for the fight babe, fight like a girl, and badass apparel. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Girl Gang Wraps, and visit girlgangwraps.com. Be sure to follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Visit FiveRoundMMA.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to say, MVP has some pretty good celebrations. I like that Infinity Gauntlet. And then the Pokemon ball before. He got some good. He has some good stuff out there.
He just needs better competition. That's it. Caramel, thank you. Albert, we're out. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in